Greetings, my friends. It is Dr. Chibi again, once more in the gloomy dark. And yes, I was able to get a little bit further in my reaction videos today and managed to catch up on the reactions that had been made on April 14th. Still a long ways to go. But hopefully I'll get a little bit closer on my cocktail videos. As you know, I hope to finish all the cocktail videos for last year's event, Universal Orlando Halloween Horror Nights 28. There are only a couple more scare zones to cover. And tonight, I hope to make the cocktail for the scare zone Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Ah, what a wonderful scare zone that was. Not very big, only in that little area of New York Street called South Street, which is right up there where you have by the Transformers, yes, and the lagoon, right up there, just by the back end of the, what is that shop called nowadays? The Film Vault, yes, the Film Vault. It's been a dozen different things over the years. It used to have Rocky and Bullwinkle merchandise, and it was supposed to be like a gym. There's still a sign up there about that. There's also a sign about it being the headquarters for Jinko, which was, of course, the company that is from The Godfather. It was the what do you call it? The false front. So there's a word for it. I guess front might be it. The front for the Corleone crime family. The legitimate business they hid behind. Oh. And so right in there next to the Kit Kat Club. Yes, but along there, and then further past a storefront for Walgreens, which is which of course is just windows, and along there, going off towards, not quite reaching Starbucks, right there in the South Street, they had the Killer Clowns and all the happy clowns from the movie, like Rudy and Spike and I forget all the names, but all the happy clowns, and had the balloon animal, and there was one called I think called Joe and Ed. I think they were like the cop clowns that had the little ray guns, and there were a couple others. I had all the names down during the event so I could say hello to the clowns by name, Fatso and all the others. Quite delightful. And the Italian ice cream boys, I forget their names too, unfortunately. It's been a while. But the guys that had the ice cream truck that was hijacked, and the two female clowns. And they had the projections on the wall there by the South Street, on the walls of the building, including some scenes from the movie, and then the little finger play that the clown would do to make adorable animals, and it turned into a giant Tyrannosaurus. Nom nom nom. Quite funny. Delightful stuff. Yes. Very good scare zone, and sometimes they would just turn into a dance party on the street, and lots of people just had a hellaciously good time. The evil bubble machine was going off, floating around, and there was something about, oh yes, the fog got inside the bubbles. So they're sort of glowing, and when you touch them, the little burst of fog, that was just so wonderful, because the fog was in the bubble machine. And then there was the big cotton candy, which of course is cocooning of human victims. If you remember, in the movie, the clowns would drink the blood of human victims through crazy straws out of the necks bodies of human victims, and who'd been cocooned in this grey candy floss, as they call it, or cotton candy. And there were also weaponized popcorn and pizza. no, they just happened to be hiding in the pizza box, but there was weaponized popcorn and something else that was circusy. I forget what it was. It'll come to me in a minute. But all sorts of things that we think of as harmless and fun became horrifying part of the whole thing. And the little clown baby, the sort of embryonic one that the girl was carrying around in the scare zone, it was so much fun. A huge favorite. And rumor has it they may return soon. But we'll see. We'll see. But of course, I'm horrifically late about the cocktail videos. I should have got these done before the event ended last year. But now I'm finally going to catch up. And by the end of this weekend, I'll have all the cocktail videos for Halloween Horror Nights 28 completed. And then I can move on and start thinking up what the cocktails will be for the haunted houses at Halloween Horror Nights 29, and start working on the 4 cocktails I already have to think up of from the 4 announced houses. But let's get on to a cocktail for Killer Klowns from Outer Space. So to prepare for that, I have here a lovely cocktail shaker filled with ice. See, but I just realized I don't have the stupid glass. I left that in the freezer to get frosty. I have to go get the glass. Otherwise, what am I going to, pour it in and try to drink it? That's not going to work. Coming back around again, I have here the glass, which is a cocktail glass, like a martini glass, which I left in the freezer to get frosty. So now, I take the first ingredient. I need, of course, something to start this cocktail that will evoke the origin of the Killer Klowns, because they're not circus clowns. Ha 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 ha. No, they are ferocious extraterrestrial monsters who just happen to coincidentally look like circus clowns. So we need something extraterrestrial. And so I have here the lovely bottle of alien vodka. What's the actual name of the brand? Outer Space vodka, in the shape of a little alien, like something you'd meet in Roswell, New Mexico. Yes. It's hard to see in the dark, but it's sort of greenish and shaped like an alien head. So I will use that to start with to get the theme, the alien theme. If I can, it's the problem, I just can't see. Oh, getting old is a pain in the butt. I can figure out how this, oh, here it is, the cork. Got it out, the freaking cork. And now I shall pour a little bit of my alien vodka into this. Only about, say about a little more than a quarter of this oversized jigger. And then I'll go ahead and pour that. I think this is like a 2-ounce jigger actually. And I'll pour that into the cocktail shaker. And the reason I do that is because I need to put even more of a different sort of vodka in, because that's just there to make it outer spacey. Because after all, it's outer space vodka. And where are the Killer Klowns from? The Killer Klowns, Killer Klowns from, as it says here, you should be, yes, outer space, like it says on the vodka bottle. See, so that's why it's excellent. But now we go to the pinnacle of terror with Pinnacle cake-flavored vodka. Now, I used this just yesterday in a different cocktail, but it works for this, because it gives a very necessary sweet cake flavor. Sort of sweet flavor is what I need here, because I don't have anything of the exact flavor I'm looking for, but I hope I'm going to experiment. I hope the cake flavor will mix with another flavor to create exactly what I want. So I put a very full one of that and pour more of that in there. Okay. Now, this is not just for color, but also because I'm hoping that blending this will mix flavor, and the flavor of this grenadine syrup will mix with the cake flavor to create the required. And again, I'll put quite a bit of that into here, and then pour the grenadine. And of course, it does have a certain color that reminds you of stuff that was flowing around in Killer Klowns, although that's not what I'm getting at. And you know, I brought this out later, but already the frost is wearing off, but at least it's cold. All right, so now it's time to shake the cocktail shaker far enough away that if I spill anything, it won't get on my computer. So here we go. Shake, 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 shake your booty. Yes, shake like the clowns when they were dancing around. If I do that, I hurt my back. Old age sucks. And I don't feel any older than I did, you know, when I first started going to horror nights when I was still in my 20s. All those years ago. In 1991. I think that's a good enough shake. And I will then pour this mess into there's probably more of it in the shaker than I need. And we have this very pink liquid. It looks darker on the screen. It looks like a dark red. But here, looking at it, and it's more of a rosy pink color, rather like a cosmopolitan. But let's see what it tastes like. And I'm hoping the effect will... Oh, one more thing, just to make it work a little better. The garnish. And I'm going to get a cherry. Get a little, it's on the spoon now. And if you put it in front of my hat, you can see better then. And then drop it into the... And of course, the sort of cherries I prefer for my cocktails are the wonderful Luxardo. Luxardo cherries from Italy, which incidentally don't have stems, which is why you need a spoon to get it in there. So I put that in. You can see it there floating about. Now let's give it a taste. Well, sweet as hell. Does it taste like what I wanted it to taste like? I think so. I think so. I think this, especially after a couple of sips, where you get past the first harshness of alcohol, especially in a drink with lots of alcohol, and you get to the flavor as it starts to hit you, and yes, the aftertaste just hit me. It is exactly right. It tastes like cotton candy. That was my hope. The cake, vodka and the grenadine mixed together just right, and it does with a little bit of another vodka to give it a little nuance, a little diluting it just a little bit, but with more alcohol, of course, so it doesn't lose any of its strength. Grenadine has no alcohol. It's just syrup, but... oh, that's good. It does taste, for all the bloody world, like cotton candy, and that's exactly what I wanted it to do, so that it's perfect for the Scare Zone Killer Klowns from Outer Space. With our lovely... Oh, I want to bring a little friend out. I just remembered something, and I have to bring this out for the Scare Zone. It'll take a couple minutes because I have to run to the other side of my purple house. No, it's in a little protective. It's in a little protective case because it's sort of a collectible, and I have it in one of my shelves of whimsy in the other room. But here it is. Does this look familiar? Does kind of look like something out of Killer Klowns from Outer Space. We turn it so that actually what this is, this little pink Cupid doll, the weird little. It's not meant to be cotton candy. It's meant to be fish roe, cod roe, in fact, for a particular type called tarako in Japan, which is quite good actually. But there was a company that made, of all bloody things, a pasta sauce like for spaghetti. Apparently they wanted to market it to children, this fish roe spaghetti sauce, which is a thing in Japan. Actually, it's quite good. I tried some once, if you don't mind a little bit of fishy flavour. And of course, Japan's seafood is all over the place. It's an island kingdom, after all. Lots of good seafood. So there you are. They had this really weird campaign with little girls involving these weird Cupid doll figures coming to life and haunting them that actually looked a bit almost like one of those awful horror movies, but fun. And there was a weird little song, Tarako, Tarako. Yes, so look it up. It's creepy in a cool sort of way. And so I got one of these little guys just for fun, but turn it upside down. It looks just like one of the Killer Klowns victims that were covered in cotton candy. And I thought that was fun. Oh, my goodness. That's better than I thought it would be. Let me pour some more of the cocktail into the glass. Got quite a bit left. Oh. Very good. Yes, Killer Klowns was really fun. Wonderful. And of course, many of the creators were there, including the Chiodo brothers, and I think John Massari, the composer of the score, who has hinted very strongly, as I mentioned in another video, directly to me, and I made a tweet joke about it. He replied to my tweet with what really sounds like a near confirmation that the Killer Klowns are coming back. As I mentioned in a previous video, for a haunted maze in Hollywood, where we've already guessed because the facade is visible and it's a yellow and red circus tent. Striped yellow and red, just like the spaceship. Just like the spaceship in the movie, which looks like a circus tent, but it's yellow and red stripes. And therefore, there's been quite a lot of guessing and speculation, but that looks pretty obvious to be what it is. And of course, many people think that this will be an IP shared between Orlando and Hollywood, and we may indeed be seeing the Killer Klowns returning here as well, but in a house this time. And I hope that's correct. I don't know for certain, of course. These are just rumors and speculations. But there's some good evidence, in Hollywood at least, and maybe it's true. And we'll get all our fun boys and a couple of girls back to have a lot of joy, only not partying in the streets, but in the house. Oh, those nights, the little petting the balloon dog. Yes, that's a good. Who's a good boy? Yeah. And of course, when it popped, oh, the look of, Spike was like so despondent when his balloon dog would pop. But here's a secret. Remember the big ice cream truck? The back of the ice cream van was filled with extra balloon animals, and so they could replace it right away. Whenever that happened, I saw it. Oh, and a cast change at the Klowns was always a delight to watch. Ah, I miss it. I do. It's been months now since November, early November, and my beloved Klowns, and those 80s, 1980s vampire people who look like celebrities, like Boy George and Freddie Mercury and Madonna. I miss those scarecrows. I miss you most of all, Scarecrow. Yes, and the pumpkin people, and those 4 kids, and the ones who, those meddling kids who made it go the wrong way over in Cary, Ohio. But that's tomorrow night's cocktail. Yes, so let me start the wrapping up process. Yeah, that's the last of it has now been put into the glass, and as I finish this off then, as I finish it off, yes, so hopefully, as this weekend continues, and I have time to make some videos, if it isn't too bleeding hot, because it's always insufferable in my conservatory when it's really, really hot. It's normally warmer in here than it is in the winter. It's lovely, but it's warmer in here than any part of the house. And if it's so ridiculously hot as 90-something degrees, well, it's over 100 in here. And my little air conditioner that I use sometimes, well, it can't just run all day. It'll overheat, and then of course it starts to leak. And I have to turn it upside down, get all the condensation out. It's a nice little guy, but it's not as effective as the one that's throughout the rest of the house. But not in here. Because this is added to the house. It's a conservatory. It's like a greenhouse on 3 sides. So that's the whole point. But anyway, what I'm going to do then, hopefully tomorrow I can continue the reaction videos, and hopefully will give my video reaction to the announcement for Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando and Hollywood that was made on the day of April 29th. That would be Monday, 4 weeks ago, April 29th, and therefore, let's see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. By tomorrow it will be 33 days before. It's 32 days ago today. So not quite as far back as the others, but still over a month ago. And then, not likely tomorrow, but maybe, but more likely on Sunday, I might get the reaction video done for the most recent announcement, which was only made last week, Tuesday. Of course, by Sunday it will be Tuesday week before last, but only by 1 day. But as of right now, it's still last week Tuesday, and that was 10 days ago by right now, and that was on May 21st. And if another announcement isn't made between now and then, I might have some time to sneak in another video and continue my history of Halloween Horror Nights 25. But I do intend in the night to make more cocktail videos for you, and hopefully we'll do the last set Scare Zone cocktail for Halloween Horror Nights 28 tomorrow night, with a cocktail for Twisted Tradition, and I have all the ingredients I need already. As I mentioned last night, I plan to take care of the chainsaw scare zones, the so-called roaming hordes, although they really aren't roaming hordes if they only stay in one area. And in the case of the the Greatest Showman scare zone, as I call it, which was, I guess it had another name, some kind of sideshow or carnival, whatever. I don't know what they called it officially. It was a chainsaw zone, basically, with circus performers, but it had a sort of 19th or very early 20th or late 19th century vibe to it, a Victorian sort of feel, and some of the characters reminded me of characters from The Greatest Showman, and I really felt that we could think of it that way, and I kept expecting them to break out in song, but I even made my own lyrics to one of the songs from the movie for that zone. But anyway, oh, that's my arm. Okay, sometimes you see something in the background and you're not sure if you're being haunted, but that's just my elbow. Elbow of hell. See, when you wear a black t-shirt, you can't quite see yourself. It's like you have invisible limbs. But yes, we had. Oh, now it got dark and spooky. Now that's better. Eyes light up again. You know, and the other scare zone, which or chainsaw horde of mechanics in San Francisco waterfront, which I'm sure was Fast and Furious, but I like to call that one the family saws, for reasons. You know, the saw is family, and what's the catchphrase? Is it family forever or something like that? There's a catchphrase about family from Fast and Furious, but there's also the whole thing about family in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it just seemed appropriate to call them the family saws in the San Francisco area. And what I'll do on Sunday is make a couple shots to commemorate both of those areas at once. Not really a cocktail, but to touch on them at least, and then where I can include them and not leave them out. And then that's it for Halloween Horror Nights 28 cocktails, and I can start figuring out what the hell we'll be drinking for the haunted houses, so I can get those going before any more get announced, because that could happen at any moment. And I just finished it off. Get a little cherry at the end, and that's it. That is good. Very sweet, though. Tastes like candy, cotton candy. So, there you have a lovely cocktail for killer clowns from outer space. So, get on that merry-go-round. The nightmare merry-go-round, yes, like the song said. And until next time, pleasant screams.